So this is Chapter 5, Section 9, Day 2, adding and subtracting of complex fractions. We're going to be adding and subtracting. These are some more examples. And remember, we're going to do these the same way we did yesterday. These are just a little more difficult. There's more math that you need to think about, more you need to get through, but it's the same type of problem. So let's go ahead and start with this. So first thing I want to do is I want to subtract and then do two subtractions here. And then, so what I need to do as I go through this is I first need to get a common denominator, my least common denominator. In this first denominator, I need an x plus 6 as a factor. This middle denominator, x squared minus 36, remember that is a difference of 2 squared, so that's x plus 6 times x minus 6. I already have an x plus 6, so I'm going to add the x minus 6. And then in this the third denominator, I need an x plus 6, which I already have. So my least common denominator is x plus 6 times x minus 6. So I'm going to go ahead and write it out with my least common denominator. So I want to have x plus 6 times x minus 6 minus, and then this be x plus 6 times x minus 6 minus, and then this be x plus 6 times x minus 6. So I need to work this problem out so that I get that. And so here, I need to multiply my denominator times x minus 6. So I have to multiply my numerator times x minus 6. In this middle term, I need to multiply. Well, I don't need to multiply anything. I already have the x plus 6x minus 6 in x squared minus 36. So I'm just multiplying by 1 over 1. And then in my last term, again, I need to multiply by what's missing, my x plus 6, and do that to the numerator and the denominator. Remember, every time I multiply, these should equal, well, I can't put an equal there. This should be the number 1. So just make sure that the numerator and the denominator match. So now I can multiply. I'm going to go 3 times x and 3 times a minus 6. So I get 3x minus 18. I'm going to do a minus 4x. And here, I'm going to distribute this negative through. So I'm going to make this plus. And I'm going to take this as a negative 2. And I'm going to distribute that into the x plus 6. So this is going to be plus a negative 2x minus 12. Give myself a little more room. Now, since I have the same denominator in all three fractions, I can go ahead and just have one denominator. So that's x plus 6 times x minus 6. And then I can put everything together. 3x minus 18 minus 4x plus a negative 2x minus 12, or minus 12. So now I can go ahead and combine like terms. 3x minus 4x is negative x minus 2x is negative 3x. Negative 18 minus 12 is negative 30 over x plus 6, x minus 6. Again, factor out the numerator to see if there's anything I can cancel. I can factor out a negative 3 and get x plus 10. I'm going to back that up just a little bit. I'm going to write this up here. This is negative 3 times x plus 10. I can factor that out, but it doesn't do me any good. It doesn't change anything. So I can say this is my final answer, or if I really wanted to, I could even multiply out my denominator and say that this is my final answer. I could go with either of those. They're both right. They're both fully factored, fully reduced. Let's try example 8. Again, I want to have the least common denominator. So I look in the first one, I have an x plus 2 as a factor and an x minus 1 as a factor. So I need an x plus 2 and an x minus 1. Here I need an x plus 2 and an x plus 4. I have the x plus 2, so I need to add the x plus 4. So, again, I'm going to have a denominator of x plus 2 times x minus 1 times x plus 4. There's plus in between, and now I'm going to create my two fractions, and I need the x plus 2, the x minus 1, the x plus 4. So what is missing? So in this first equation, in my denominator, I'm missing the x plus 4, so I need to multiply by x plus 4 over x plus 4. In my second equation, again, what's missing in my denominator? I'm missing the x minus 1, so I need to multiply by x minus 1 over x minus 1. Again, this here is 1, so I'm multiplying by 1. I'm not changing anything. Here, over here on the far left, I'm going to go ahead and FOIL do my first, my outer, my inner, my last. First, I'm going to get x squared. Outer, I'm going to get negative 7. Inner, I'm going to get positive, First, I'm going to get x squared. Outer, I'm going to get negative 7x. Inner, I'm going to get positive 4x, which is a negative 3x. My last, I'm going to get a negative 28. Here, I just need to distribute the 3 into the x minus 1. So I get 3x minus 3. Now I can write this as 1. I can write this as one fraction with one denominator of x plus 2, one common denominator, x minus 1, x plus 4. My numerator is x squared minus 3x minus 28 plus 3x minus 3. Combine like terms. We want to combine like terms. So I'm going to have x squared. Negative 3x, positive 3x is 0. So this is minus 31 over x plus 2, x minus 1, x plus 4. After pausing to check my work, I don't see where I made any mistakes. So this looks like my final answer. X squared minus 31 is not factorable. That's a 4, by the way. X squared minus 31 is not factorable. So this is my final answer. If I really wanted to, could I multiply the x plus 2 times x minus 1 times x plus 4? Sure. Do I have to? Absolutely not. That's my final answer. One more example. Kind of putting all this stuff together. Okay. So again, this is the kind of problem you'll see. I have two problems that are being subtracted, and my denominators need to be factored first. Then I can find my LCD. So let's factor my denominators. Well, basic factoring, what multiplies to be negative 3 and adds to be negative 2, that's a negative 3 and a positive 1. Second denominator, what multiplies to be negative 2 and adds to be negative 1, that's negative 2 and positive 1. So again, at this point, I want to find my least common denominator. In my first equation, my first denominator, I have an x minus 3. So I need an x minus 3 in my LCD. I have an x plus 1, so I need an x plus 1. My second denominator, I need an x minus 2. X minus 2 I don't already have. I need an x plus 1, but I already have one x plus 1. So this is my least common denominator. Or my least common denominator. So again, I need to work this out. So I'm going to have the denominator of x minus 3 times x plus 1 times x minus 2. I'm going to change this subtraction to plus and make this a negative 6. I just think it's easier. And then this is, again, x minus 3, x plus 1, x minus 2. Let's work on my numerators, my tops. Again, like I did previously, what do I need to do to this? Well, this already has an x minus 3 and an x plus 1, so I need to multiply by x minus 2 to top and bottom to get this down here. So then this, I'm going to FOIL out. First, I'm going to have 7x squared. Outer, I'm going to have negative x. Inner, I'm going to have negative 14x, which is negative 15x. Last, I'm going to have plus 2. Over here on the next problem, again, I purposely made this a negative 6, and I made that a plus. Again, in this denominator, I have the x minus 2, the x plus 1. I'm missing the x minus 3. So that's what I have to multiply by. And if I multiply negative 6x times x is negative 6x squared. Negative 6x times a negative 3 is a positive 18x. Now that I have it, so I have a common, that's not what I want. Now that I have it, so I have a common denominator, I can go ahead and write this with one denominator, x minus 3, x plus 1, x minus 2, and put it all together. 7x squared plus a negative 6x squared is 1x squared. Negative 15x plus 18x is a positive 3x, and then I have a plus 2. Okay, can this be reduced? Is the numerator the top factorable? Well, let's see what multiplies to be 2 and adds to be 3. Well, that's not a 3. That should be a 2 and a 1. And my denominator stays the same. X minus 3, x plus 1, x minus 2. My x plus 1s are alike, so I get out my red marker and I can cancel these. And this is x plus 2, this is x minus 2. I cannot cancel those, so I'm left with x plus 2 over x minus 3 times x minus 2. That is my final answer. Again, if you would like, you can multiply that denominator and get x plus 2 over x squared minus 5x plus 6. Either of these are good answers. Both of them will work. Both of them are reduced. That's our work. That's what we have for today. Have a nice day.